Daily tips. If you've nothing nice to say nothing.
To all appearances.
To all appearances.
To all appearances.
To all appearances.
Based on how it looks, seemingly.
Based on how it looks, seemingly.
To all appearances, the project is on track.
To all appearances, the project is on track.
Pada penampilannya.
On approval.
On approval.
On approval.
On approval.
Subject to approval or agreement.
Subject to approval or agreement.
The purchase is on approval from the manager.
The purchase is on approval from the manager.
Dengan persetujuan.
As.
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 As much as, equally.
As much as, equally.
He is as tall as his brother.
He is as tall as his brother.
Sama seperti.
As for.
As for.
As for.
As for.
Regarding, with respect to.
Regarding, with respect to.
As for the location, it's quite convenient.
As for the location, it's quite convenient.
Mengenai.
As if.
As if.
As if.
As if.
As though, as if it were the case.
As though, as if it were the case.
She looked as if she had seen a ghost.
She looked as if she had seen a ghost.
Seolah-olah.
As it is.
As it is.
As it is.
As it is.
In its current state, considering the current situation.
In its current state, considering the current situation.
We can use it as it is, without any modifications.
We can use it as it is, without any modifications.
Sebagaimana adanya.
As it were.
As it were.
As it were.
As it were.
So to speak, in a way.
So to speak, in a way.
He told the story as it were a fairy tale.
He told the story as it were a fairy tale.
Seakan-akan.
Aside from.
Aside from.
Aside from.
Aside from.
Apart from, in addition to.
Apart from, in addition to.
Aside from his job, he also volunteers.
Aside from his job, he also volunteers.
Selain dari.
On average.
On average.
On average.
On average.
Typically, on average.
Typically on average.
On average, people spend 2 hours commuting.
On average, people spend 2 hours commuting.
Rata-rata.
Back and forth.
Back and forth.
Back and forth.
Back and forth.
In both directions, repeatedly.
In both directions repeatedly.
They went back and forth between the two cities.
They went back and forth between the two cities.
Bolak-balik.
Back down.
Back down.
Back down.
Back down.
Retreat, withdraw, concede.
Retreat, withdraw, concede.
He didn't back down from the argument.
He didn't back down from the argument.
Mundur.
Back of.
Back of.
Back of.
Back of.
Located behind, in the rear of.
Located behind, in the rear of.
The garden is back of the house.
The garden is back of the house.
Di belakang.
Back out.
Back out.
Back out.
Back out.
Withdraw from an agreement or commitment.
Withdraw from an agreement or commitment.
He decided to back out of the deal.
He decided to back out of the deal.
Mundur.
Back up.
Back up.
Back up.
Back up.
Support, provide backup or confirmation.
Support, provide backup or confirmation.
She will back up your argument with evidence.
She will back up your argument with evidence.
Dukung.
No, backward.
No, backward.
No, backward.
No, backward.
Know very well, be thoroughly familiar with.
Know very well, be thoroughly familiar with.
She knows the topic backward and forward.
She knows the topic backward and forward.
Tahu, ke belakang.
In the balance.
In the balance.
In the balance.
In the balance.
In an uncertain or critical state.
In an uncertain or critical state.
The outcome of the game is in the balance.
The outcome of the game is in the balance.
Dalam keseimbangan.
Off balance.
Off balance.
Off balance.
Off balance.
Unsteady, lacking stability.
Unsteady, lacking stability.
The sudden gust of wind knocked him off balance.
The sudden gust of wind knocked him off balance.
Tidak seimbang.
Behind bars.
Behind bars.
Behind bars.
Behind bars.
In prison, incarcerated.
In prison, incarcerated.
The criminal is behind bars for his actions.
The criminal is behind bars for his actions.
Di balik jeruji.
Keep something at bay.
Keep something at bay.
Keep something at bay.
Keep something at bay.
Prevent something from happening or approaching.
Prevent something from happening or approaching.
He tried to keep his fears at bay during the dark night.
He tried to keep his fears at bay during the dark night.
Tahan sesuatu.
Have a bearing on.
Have a bearing on.
Have a bearing on.
Have a bearing on.
Influence or relate to something.
Influence or relate to something.
The new policy may have a bearing on our company's future.
The new policy may have a bearing on our company's future.
Memiliki pengaruh terhadap.
On behalf of.
On behalf of.
On behalf of.
On behalf of.
In support of, representing.
In support of, representing.
I am speaking on behalf of the entire team.
I am speaking on behalf of the entire team.
Atas nama.
Bring into being.
Bring into being.
Bring into being.
Bring into being.
Create or cause to exist.
Create or cause to exist.
The scientists worked hard to bring a new theory into being.
The scientists worked hard to bring a new theory into being.
Membawa keberadaan.
Come into being.
Come into being.
Come into being.
Come into being.
Begin to exist or happen.
Begin to exist or happen.
The idea for the novel came into being during a long journey.
The idea for the novel came into being during a long journey.
Muncul.
At best.
At best.
At best.
At best.
Under the best possible circumstances.
Under the best possible circumstances.
The weather forecast predicts at best a slight chance of rain.
The weather forecast predicts at best a slight chance of rain.
Setidaknya.
Do one's best.
Do one's best.
Do one's best.
Do one's best.
Make the maximum effort.
Make the maximum effort.
She always tries her best in every task she undertakes.
She always tries her best in every task she undertakes.
Lakukan yang terbaik.
Get the best of.
Get the best of.
Get the best of.
Get the best of.
Gain an advantage or outperform.
Gain an advantage or outperform.
The team managed to get the best of their opponents in the final game.
The team managed to get the best of their opponents in the final game.
Mendapatkan yang terbaik.
Had best.
Had best.
Had best.
Had best.
Should do something advisable.
Should do something advisable.
You had best prepare for the presentation in advance.
You had best prepare for the presentation in advance.
Lebih baik.
Make the best of.
Make the best of.
Make the best of.
Make the best of.
Maximize the benefits of a situation.
Maximize the benefits of a situation.
Even in difficult times, she always makes the best of her circumstances.
Even in difficult times, she always makes the best of her circumstances.
Manfaatkan yang terbaik.
Better off.
Better off.
Better off.
Better off.
In a more favorable or improved situation.
In a more favorable or improved situation.
They are better off financially since the promotion.
They are better off financially since the promotion.
Lebih baik.
For the better.
For the better.
For the better.
For the better.
To improve a situation or condition.
To improve a situation or condition.
The changes in the company were for the better in the long run.
The changes in the company were for the better in the long run.
Demi yang lebih baik.
Get the better of.
Get the better of.
Get the better of.
Get the better of.
Gain an advantage or win.
Gain an advantage or win.
In the chess match, he managed to get the better of his opponent.
In the chess match, he managed to get the better of his opponent.
Mendapatkan yang lebih baik.
Had better.
Had better.
Had better.
Had better.
Should do something advisable.
Should do something advisable.
You had better not forget your passport when traveling.
You had better not forget your passport when traveling.
Lebih baik.
Across the board.
Across the board.
Across the board.
Across the board.
Applies to all, universally.
Applies to all universally.
The new safety measures were implemented across the board in the company.
The new safety measures were implemented across the board in the company.
Secara menyeluruh.
Above board.
Above board.
Above board.
Above board.
Honest, open, and transparent.
Honest, open, and transparent.
The business deal was conducted above board to ensure trust.
The business deal was conducted above board to ensure trust.
Terbuka dan jujur.
Board up.
Board up.
Board up.
Board up.
Cover or seal with boards.
Cover or seal with boards.
They had to board up the windows before the hurricane.
They had to board up the windows before the hurricane.
Tutup.
Another tips. A problem shared is a problem halved.